report.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the best football show of the new generation.
That's right. What a week it's been. We are currently in Lambeau Field right now, and man, what a week it's been for the games. From upsets to amazing wins, from all-star plays to big oofs. There's a lot to get in, so let's dive right in.
Starting the third week off, we had Tampa Bay Vipers versus the Houston Roughnecks. And after Tampa's only TD going into this game was a pick six, they needed to prove not only to their fans, but to themselves that they can get into the end zone.
You know what they say, if you have a powerhouse, you must got some roughnecks. And everything's bigger in Texas. And the Houston Roughnecks this week has proven that, even though it was kind of close game, but they were able to etch it out in the end, showing why they stick their necks out for the team.
With Tampa coming out strong in their first drive, getting all the way down to the red zone, but unfortunately having to settle with a field goal. And I gotta say, I thought it would be a repeat of the last 2 weeks. You know, getting so close, but yet so far away.
I agree. I mean, when you're Tampa, you're trash. But when you play in your hometown, you become less trash. You become garbage. And this week, I mean, they actually did pretty good. Nice celebrations, great celebrations, but ultimately they ended up losing to the Roughnecks. Man, what a close game for them, though. They actually try to pull through. Can't get their fans that win. 0-3.
But it was definitely a step forward from last week and the week before as they finally got into the end zone.
Absolutely. Multiple times, I like to add, by their offense, not just their defense. But, I mean, what's done is done. Tampa 0-3, struggling. But look at some of these stats by Tampa and even the Roughnecks. Well, we got to first talk about P.J. Walker.
Outstanding game. And if we talk about P.J. Walker, we have to talk about his number one wide receiver, Cam Phillips. He played phenomenally. Looking like Big Ben and AB out there.
That's a brotherhood bond that you will never see anywhere else. That takes years to get, and they got it on the first couple of weeks. And I think the Roughnecks are going to be a scary team for this division. And
absolutely.
For the whole XFL.
Showing why they're 3-0. And I think if the NFL is looking for some talent, picking up those two as a package deal would be phenomenal for your team.
Because you know what they say, the bigger the package, the bigger the reward.
Size doesn't always matter.
I mean, in this case, it does.
Karen.
This week, Dallas and Seattle faced off against each other finally. A game we all wanted to see, as both are technically 1-1 on the season. One of these guys were going to get their second win, while the other is going to drop some deuces on the second loss of the season. And I mean, it was a very, very, very game. The Dragons had a much better first half than the Renegades, leading them to 12-6 as halftime ballooned. But unfortunately for them, the game didn't end at halftime, because if it did, they'd be 2-1 on the season. Well, that's what they thought, as the whole second half Dallas, they would just straight up run up on them and score 18 points to their second win of the season, beating them 24-12. So it looks like Seattle Dragons dropping deuces here today and dropping the ball on this one. Someone's got to tell them, hey, this ain't Super Bowl when the Atlanta choked the lead, eh? I mean, that's Super Bowl. This is the XFL.
Where the X stands for extreme, baby.
Don't worry about Jones. Jones, throw 2 interceptions, right? From Dallas.
But he got those 3 TDs.
3 TDs. There's so much you can do. Passing rating of 95. But Silvers, on the other hand, I mean, he played pretty good. The passing rating is a decentable amount. It's an average, what you usually expect from a quarterback. But the guy, 2 touchdowns, 204 yards, playing pretty good out there for this team.
Probably would have got the win if they just showed up in the second half. But unfortunately,
yes,
both offense and defense decided to take a break, and it was not the right time.
But you know what doesn't take a break? The XFL. Because after the next day, we had the New York Guardians taking on the Battlehawks of St. Louis. Finally, St. Louis football is back, ladies and gentlemen, in St. Louis, of
course. And they showed why they should have a football team.
Oh, absolutely.
With the fans that showed up, it was great to see. But with a devastating week 2 for New York, they needed a bounce back to regain not only chemistry, but confidence.
Absolutely.
In their QB, in their
coach,
offense, and their coach.
And especially their coach. And with the Battlehawks letting that lead slip, they weren't going to let that happen. Of course, last week. They're going to let it happen this week, because they're back in St. Louis finally, after many years of losing football. And those fans showed them why they loved it. But, of course, they sold it out, and the fans are probably happy. But with both teams entering the game with a chip on their shoulder, stakes were high. on St. Louis' first drive, they would lead 6-0, and that was really start. That was the really start kind of one they needed and they wanted. And trust me, it just kept on going up and up and up for St. Louis, as New York's showing why. You know what? New York football sucks. The Jets, the Giants, the Islanders, the Rangers, the Knicks, the Nets. It don't matter. If you're from New York, you're garbage. Get out of town!
It was quick to see New York would still be having problems this week, going into the half down 23-3 for the Battlehawks. This was the lead that they just couldn't come back from. New York's looking like with a chicken with its head cut off. You know,
in the kitchen.
They're scrambling around, but they just don't know what to do.
No, it was terrible, especially for those New York fans out there. You want a good team, finally. If you don't get it, you choke it. I mean, they need to do better. I mean, going into the fourth, they were down. Or not the fourth, but they lost 29-9. That's a 20-point difference, kids at home. But they put their record to 1-2.
And that's a hard 1-2.
Yeah, not to get 1-2.
Because it's not even like both games are close that they lost. They got steamrolled both games, and they need to figure out not only their QB situation, but their coaching situation.
I mean, let me just tell you this. The only team they beat was Tampa. That's not an accomplishment.
But
not good.
The Battlehawks showing why Missouri is a great place for football. Because not only do they have the Chiefs, now they have St. Louis Battlehawks, and they are just
showing why St. Louis as well. I mean, we're going back to it. They deserve that team. And, man, maybe they will be the greatest show on turf one day.
Maybe.
Well, let's look at some of these amazing stats for these QBs. When I mean amazing, I mean they were okay. Not really much touchdowns were thrown this game. Not a lot of interceptions. It was more
actually no touchdowns were thrown this game.
None from both quarterbacks. I mean, 119 yards and 94 yards. I mean, it seemed like it was more of a running game, in my opinion. A lot of defensive effort.
It was, yeah. Well, they gave Jones the ball 15 times for 95 yards. And then one touchdown was a return, which was pretty cool to see. First ever. We'll get more into that later.
Absolutely. The Wildcats, even though they had a kind of a bit of a rough start to the season, decided like, whoa, wait up.
We're still in this league.
We still exist. So they go out there, and man, I mean, whew.
Did they ever play?
Yeah, did they ever play, man? I mean, I'm telling you the truth. I've never seen anything. The underdog's really showing why you should never count them out. The Rocky Balboa, just buck, ducking, we punching, knocking out. Tyson Fury kind of power right there. And I mean, they're kind of showing why the defenders shouldn't be called the defenders. Because how can you defend when you give up, 39 points? 39 points at the end of the game.
And 4 interceptions.
4 interceptions. And we were talking about Jones being the MVP of the season. Man, he does. Most very pathetic player of the year.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I would have went for the defensive player of the year for that one, for giving up 4 interceptions, which most of them led to TDs. And Cardell Jones learning something from Matt McLaurin, almost getting down to 10.
Absolutely.
QB
10,
rating, but
he's at a 20.
Not exactly.
4 interceptions. He kept throwing that ball.
When he shouldn't have.
Nope. But the LLA, Johnson, man.
Possibly player of the night.
Oh, easily is. Because you got to look at it, man. 278 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a passing rating of 148. It's an outstanding game. Amazing on his part. Probably one of the best we've seen so far. I think he's finally got that confidence again.
I think so. And for a backup QB, he played phenomenal.
Yeah.
I also heard that he had a thigh injury and he wasn't even supposed to be playing. But he stuck it out and he put up a great game.
Well, you know what? Most people would sit at home crying to their mamas that their thigh hurts. And I mean, Josh Johnson showing why Double J gets it done. What a killer out there tonight. If we had Warrior of the Week, put him on the screen right there. Warrior of the Week.
Definitely showing why he's the Wildcat. Wow. Where is that?
Now it's time to look at the highlight of the night. And let me tell you, there were a lot of great plays this weekend. And don't worry, there was a lot, guys. But the biggest one for me, in my opinion, is the first ever kick return for the XFL. As Joe Powell picks up the ball from his teammate after he tossed it to him. And man, just started going off to the races. To the 50, to the 40, to the 30, to the 10, 5, touchdown! Battlehawks for the first ever kick return of the year. What a guy, what a player, what an OG. Showing them why, guess what, balls can be returned.
The Battlehawks getting really creative here, and throwing the ball back really fooled the defense, although it's not hard to fool New York's defense.
No, it's not, but I mean, hey, it was very creative on their part. Got to give credit to the special teams coach, though, drawing it up like that. Beautiful play. You don't see that very often. A little quick little handoff on the kick return, but they did it. But this time we're moving on. When you got one great play, you follow up with a screw up, and man, this OK Boomer report, man, this week.
This has to be the biggest.
Who are you gonna give it to, man? You gotta give it to.
I gotta give it to Rashad Ross.
Yeah.
Because this man, we'll play this video.
I thought I had it all together, but I was led astray. The day you walked away, you were the clock that was ticking in my home. Changed my state of mind.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Love so hard to find.
we got him.
I mean, what a big oof, I would say. That was.
I mean, if you can't talk the talk, why bother walk the walk? And he couldn't do a lot of talking. Guy was garbage.
He not only did he not show up, but to go out and shit talk your former team.
That's disrespectful.
And then get smacked. The way they got smacked today was just unbelievable.
Absolutely. It was an embarrassment. Embarrassment to you. You can't be talking all this trash and then expect to not win. You look garbage. You look atrocious. You look like a big oof.
You look worse than Matt McLaurin. Maybe not.
No, yeah, you do. 6 receptions, 1 catch for 16 yards. Buddy, my grandmother could do better than you, and she's dead.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
But, you can't be doing that kind of stuff. Talking trash. The football gods will strike a vengeance on your team, and they did. Not only embarrassing him, but his quarterback. Everyone's saying he was MVP race, Cardell Jones. And now everyone's saying, once again, he's just MVP, most valuable. Pathetic player.
This week's OK Boomer Player of the Week award has to go to, it was a toss-up between 3 players. PJ Walker, Cam Phillips, and Josh Johnson. And hearing about Josh Johnson's injury, I gotta give it to him. He put up almost the same numbers as PJ Walker with less throws, same amount of TDs, and with a less dominant offense.
I agree.
He had less targets to throw to, and he showed up and completely destroyed everyone's biggest team, DC defenders.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Josh Johnson, killer on the field today. He's an injury. No one was expecting him to play, but he goes out there and he plays amazing. I know you could give it to PJ Walker, but I feel like Johnson had the underdog story as well. Had a tougher opponent, in my opinion, because let's be real. They were facing who? Tampa?
Tampa, yeah.
Come on. Like, Tampa's trash. But no, seriously, Josh Johnson, man, what a killer out there and a warrior. He is easily OK Boomer's player of the week, in my opinion, with, like I said, 3 touchdowns, 148 rating of passing.
With no interceptions.
No interception, 278 yards.
Well, that's all the time we have, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, because we're going to be here every single Monday for the XFL season and postseason.
That is correct, Tyler. I can't wait for you guys to tune in every week. No more danging on the Besk. Don't worry, folks. We are done with that. I'm Tyler.
I'm also Tyler.
Don't forget, the X stands for
Extreme, baby.
Did you like that? I said the best danging.